spurs, which podiatrists love. You have peripheral neuropathies, which chiropractors love, and so on. So it just depends a lot on what else you're eating, how many other nutrients you have, if you have high levels of vitamin E in your diet or by supplementation. A lot of people just take a lot of vitamin E. That has a certain amount of protection for selenium deficiency. It won't cover you completely. I mean, if you have zero selenium in your diet, you take a lot of vitamin E, you're still going to die of cardiomyopathy, heart disease, or liver cirrhosis, or something of that nature.
So, Doc, when someone's been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, right? In order to support and promote the structure and function of the connective tissue in their bodies to be healthy, what's the game plan? What's the recommendation?
Okay, well, the bottom line recommendation is you got to maximize absorption. So I always put people in this category on a gluten-free diet, absolutely no wheat, barley, rye, or oats. I mean, drop dead. Even the dog and the cat and the bird and the fish can't have it in the household, including the mother-in-law, the spouse, and kids. No gluten in the house. And then they get the healthy bone and joint pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And they also need 2 selenium twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight, maybe even 3, depending on the degree of severity of their fibromyalgia. And so you're maximizing absorption. You're giving the body all the nutrients it needs to, as you say, manage, repair, support, promote the repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, muscle, bone matrix, which is connective tissue inside the bone. And so if you're very proactive, fibromyalgia you should be able to get rid of certainly within 60, 90 days. Usually it doesn't take that long. I don't care if you've had it for 20 years and you've gone to 28 doctors, giving you prednisone, cortisone, and all these painkillers and so forth, topical, oral, injectable. Usually within 60, 90 days it's gone. You still have to stay on a gluten-free diet. You still have to take the raw materials to maintain it because you're still living in that place that doesn't have the nutrients in the soil, and especially if you're eating locally. Now, this is one of the things we saw in Keyshawn disease and in the Amish communities that we're dealing with. When you look at Keyshawn disease up in Keyshawn province, China, there's 2 groups of the same gene pool of people, exactly the same source of people, the same tribe, if you will. And the ones who live out on the farms with no selenium in the soil, and they were very poor farmers, they would only eat what they grew on their own land. They were too poor, they didn't even own livestock, they would just live primarily on grain. They were the ones that had the highest level of Keyshawn disease, cardiomyopathy, heart attack, cystic fibrosis, and muscular dystrophy. The ones of the same DNA tribal background would go to the city and live in the city where food was brought in by truck and rail and boat and plane and cars, and their grandma would deliver food to them and so forth. Those people had very little fibromyalgia, muscular dystrophy, Keyshawn disease, cardiomyopathy, heart attack, and cystic fibrosis because they're getting selenium from all different directions. The same thing proves true here in the States. If you have severe fibromyalgia and you have it in your family, your neighbor's got it, you can actually call the university that has an agricultural division and find out how much selenium is in the local soils. If there's no selenium in the local soils, or only 10% of what's supposed to be in there, you better be supplementing heavily with selenium. Otherwise, your risk of dying of a cardiomyopathy, heart attack, having liver disease, having pancreatic disease, having children born with cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy is very high.
Now, what do you think? What do you think about Fucoid Z and HGH as add-ons to the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack and selenium?
Well, I like Fucoid Z, number one, because it encourages the production of stem cells and encourages your own stem cells to rebuild stuff. I actually started working with stem cells in 1958, and so I'm very, very aware of how they work. And even stem cells, one of the reasons why stem cells fail... Wait
a minute, Doc. Did you say 1958?
Yep.
That's the year that I was born.
Yeah, well, that's when I was a freshman in agricultural school. We had to take a couple of electives, and the first elective I took was experimental biology. In experimental biology, we could take fibroblastic cells from skin of salamanders, grind up salamander livers, and put the liver juice on those fibroblasts, and they would turn into liver cells.
Wow.
And so forth. We could do that back in 1958. And so, yeah, I was learning about stem cells back then, so I really appreciate them. And of course, this is why when you cut yourself, your fibroblasts in the dermis of your skin will get all the juice and everything from the cut, from the injury, and they begin to make all the repairs because stem cells go to work and make the repairs. They fill in the hole with new stem cells. The same thing is true here for fibromyalgia, muscular dystrophy, and cystic fibrosis. And so fucoid Z would be wonderful. Fucoid Z, Z medical. Then also I like, let's see here, I would also go with the triple treat chocolate. I would go with Cell Shield RTQ. Anything that's antioxidants, anything that has the ability to protect, very important here, to protect and or stimulate stem cells. And right now, the stem cell stimulating stuff we have is fucoid Z, as you point out very well, and Z radical. That's our stem cell stuff. We really like it. There's 840 studies on it. It comes from a red marine algae off the coast of Tasmania, not Tanzania in Africa, but Tasmania in Australia.
Dr. Wallach, I can't thank you enough. You're just a treasure trove of information. As far as I'm concerned, you are a national treasure. Appreciate everything that you do for us. Tell us where you're going to be in the next couple of days.
Well, I'm actually in Portland, Oregon. Starting tomorrow, we'll be getting our CME, or continuing medical education, so I keep my license in Oregon, and also will help me in California. I have to get so many hours of chemistry, so many hours of pharmacy, so many hours of ethics, so many hours of surgery, and so on. So every year we have to go through this process for both for all the states you're licensed in. And so this is my last one that I have to do this year, get all the points I need and all the categories I need. And, we're constantly pushing, and we'll probably see Brenda. I'm sure that her company will have a booth there. They always do. So I look forward to buying her a glass of wine and socializing a little bit.
Sounds great to me, Dr. Wallach. Thank you so much for everything that you do. We'll see you around campus. And just remember, they drew first blood.
Thank you so much, Rambo. Thank you so much for your kind words, your hospitality, and God bless your group. God bless America. Bye-bye.
Well, straight from the horse's mouth, ladies and gentlemen, it's interesting, isn't it, that there's such a intimate relationship between cystic fibrosis, fibromyalgia, muscular dystrophy, and cardiomyopathy, heart attacks. And the same stuff happens in animals, but it was eliminated in the animal kingdom 40 years ago from Dr. Wallach's research. This is why bacon and eggs doesn't cost $50 an egg, because chickens and pigs and cows and sheep and goats don't get fibromyalgia. If the animal does, you call the vet up, the vet comes to the farm and gives an injection of selenium, and within an hour or two, the animal's running around again. It's completely fine. This is the difference between the holistic methodology and the reductionistic methodology, and this is why I call my radio show Fire Your MD. It's not because I hate MDs. It's not because I have an axe to grind. It's not because an MD stole my high school girlfriend and I'm pissed. It's because their methodology is old-fashioned, outdated, archaic, ineffective, and their medicines are dangerous. For goodness sake, there's a leading cause of death in the United States, the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States. We need a different method, and we've got it. That's why longevity exists. That's why we exist as a network marketing business. Because everybody needs to know what Dr. Wallach just said, but very few people do. So we're counting on you to help us spread our message of health recovery through science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. Healing is easy. Surgery is complicated. Give your body the 90 essential nutrients. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. Take extra selenium and glucogel if you're dealing with a presumptive or a definitive diagnosis of fibromyalgia. Let's look at the list one more time before we wrap it up.